everybody, it's Kathy and Rosie Vesperina, and this is the ride home from our trip to the cafe. So we are going to ride back home actually via the Munmore Estate Conservation Area, which is a beautiful bushland area that's right on the beach, but there's also some great camping areas, some more remote than others. I've camped there before in our van and in a tent, I think. I don't know whether I've mentioned before that we have converted a what's the brand? Volkswagen Transporter into a van that we can take away and sleep in. It's got a fridge, it's got solar, it's got diesel heating, excuse me, and lots of other nice comforts. And so sometimes we head off for a weekend to go camping in the van. But I digress. So we had been at lunch at the Norah Haus Cafe, which was lovely. It was an impromptu sort of early morning breakfast. I left home around 6:30 in the morning for a 7:30 breakfast to try and beat the heat. We had a really good turnout considering it was very last minute. Myself, Marie, Fee, Sal, Michelle, Tanya, and when we got to the cafe, Joe, Catherine, Julia and Raz. What was lovely was that one of the people that came along had not been on a ride before. This was her first time joining the group. They were a learner, which is even better, I think, to have a learner come along, because often I know what I was like as a learner, which wasn't that long ago. It's hard to join those groups, and I think as you get older it's hard to kind of make new friends. Probably sounds a bit corny, but it is really hard to make new friends or new acquaintances, and it takes a lot to get the courage up to come along to a ride and meet up with other people. I've only been in the group a short amount of time, maybe 6 months, and they're just the loveliest people and incredibly supportive. I've plenty of really good advice. I think I've said that before, but anyway, they're a great group of people. So we enjoyed our breakfast. It was warm. I changed into my shorts and thongs that you wear on your feet to be a bit more comfortable with my lunch, and I was very comfortable. What did I order? I think I had avocado on toast with some bacon and eggs, and my eyes were much bigger than my stomach and I could not eat it all, but it was a good start to the day. So we've all headed off now, heading through Lake Munmore sort of area, or Norah Head sort of area, towards Lake Munmore Conservation Area. I think I'm at the back of the group, which is fine. I quite like being at the kind of in the middle so I can follow somebody. Marie, I think, is in front of me here. And surprisingly, in these back streets, the traffic was not too bad going around this area. So that's really good. I don't know who I was waving to. Oh, I was waving goodbye to one of our lovely female riders who wasn't going to come along for this journey. She was heading off back home again because she had some other commitments that she had to be home for. Again, this area is just lovely. We haven't turned off to the state forest yet, but it's still a lovely beach on our right, or the ocean on our right, as we're coming along this road. I'm going to try and not talk so much in this video and just let you enjoy the scenery. the way, before we turn off, Happy New Year. In the last video it was the 31st of December, and when you're watching this it's now 2026. If you believe in astrology, 2025 was the year, I think, of the snake, is that right? Which was supposedly a year of upheaval and uncomfortableness. I can vouch for that. But the next year, 2026, this year is the year of the horse, which is supposed to be good things coming out of that. I was born in the year of the horse, so I don't know whether that has any additional significance or not. But I'm a horse and I'm moving into a horse year, so hopefully things will go well. I have continued to do research for bikes. Fee and I did a little shopping adventure the other day where we went and looked at the Honda Rebel 500cc. It was lovely to sit on. Foot pedals a little bit too far back for me, but it was a lovely bike. And then we went to another shop and accidentally found a bike, a CF Moto brand bike that was only a 250cc but cute as a button. Fee loved it. It was a bit small for me. It's not what I want, but it was very cute. So that was food for thought. Then I went to the Royal Enfield shop here on the coast and sat on the Meteor, the 350 Meteor, and really liked that. So I was originally thinking I wanted the Royal Enfield Classic 350, but the foot pedal placement on that and on the Rebel, actually on the Honda Rebel, is not quite right for me. The person in the Honda shop did say that you can get aftermarket foot pegs that are slightly different and sit forward a little bit more, so that's an option if I chose to get a Honda Rebel 500. But I sat on a Meteor 350 at the Royal Enfield shop, and I think that's the one. I don't know that I want a bigger one. I've spoken about this lots of times before. I think the 350 is probably enough. I think we've gone into this into the Monmora conservation area now. Sorry, I should have been paying attention and not chitter-chattering. This is lovely in here. It's a 50k zone all the way through, and you see all sorts of people in here. So people in vans, obviously, who do a bit of camping on the side, other people on motorbikes. This is just the entrance now to the park area. So people on motorbikes, people running. The last time we were in here, quite a few videos ago, there was some kind of running race on, and there were people everywhere having a lovely day running, and they seemed happy enough to see us, so that was nice. But isn't it beautiful with all the trees, hardly any traffic. Bicycle riders, just beautiful. Sign there that talks about the area and why it's protected. And so I think if we just kept riding forward, we'd end up in the ocean from about here. So going back to the Royal Enfield, I sat on the Royal Enfield. It felt really comfortable to me. The foot pegs were in a good position for me. It does have a rocker thingy-majig for your, that's not the technical term thingamajig, that's the word I use if I can't remember what the proper word is, to change the gears. So instead of pushing down and then putting your foot underneath and hooking up to change up gears and down for down, other way round, I think. It actually has a kind of a pedal thing at the back, so it's kind of like a rocker, so to go up and down the gears that way. I'm sure that's something that you get used to, but I've not had enough experience riding a manual bike to be used to anything, so it would be probably fine for me. So what I'd like to do is find myself a second-hand one, red, which I think I've already found, but just probably a little bit too early because I don't come off my P's until August, so it would maybe be a little bit crazy to buy it now and just have it sitting here. But I guess I could give it to Mia to ride for 6 months while I wait till I'm ready to ride it myself. There's an idea. See, I can talk myself into buying just about anything if I want it badly enough. So the plan is I'm giving myself 5 years and within that 5-year time I want to have learnt to ride a manual bike and learnt to ride it well, had plenty of experience on it, and done some overnight or weekend trips on whatever bike I end up with here in Australia to practice multi-day riding. And then I'd love to go overseas and do some multi-day riding with some tour companies. So there's a company called Magellan. There's another company, I can't remember the other name, that has tours in India and Asia and Nepal and Bhutan of varying difficulties. So they have like a grade 1 where it's, mainly flat, no dirt roads, not too difficult, and so I'd like to at some point be confident enough to do one of those trips within the next 5 years. So that's my goal. I always have to have a big goal. My big goal the last 2 years was to get Rosie and get my license. So I've ticked that off by the end of 2025, which is great. So now I need another big goal for the next few years, and so that's what it looks like. Fingers crossed. I think we are still in the conservation area now, but we might be leaving now. Now, an interesting thing happened when we got to this set of traffic lights. I've cut out the whole thing because it just went on forever and ever, but the lights went green for where we were, and we were turning left onto the Pacific Highway, and by the time we got up to turn, the lights turned back red again, which was fine. But the issue was that they did not turn green again for us for some reason, and we realised it was because we were on our scooters and bikes and we didn't set off the sensor that's in the ground at the traffic lights to tell the machines that we were there and wanted to go either forward or behind. And because there were bikes in both lanes, the lane turning left but also the lane going straight ahead and turning right, there was a dirt bike rider in that lane. Neither of the lanes had tripped the sensor on our bikes, and so we just went through rounds and rounds, and there was quite a bit of a bank up behind. We couldn't get enough space in between to get a car up there to set off the sensors. Luckily, one of the riders eventually came up through the middle and somehow magically set off the sensors. And so that was a good lesson for us, that you need to be a little bit strategic if you're the first at the lights. If you're on a bike or a scooter, you may not be in the right position to set off the sensor, and you could be stuck for a while. So that was a really good lesson for us. The other thing we talked about was whether or not it was legal to have two abreast in the lane when you're stopped at the traffic lights. Some people thought that you could as a learner and a P-plater, but others thought that you couldn't. So I don't know the answer to that, and I haven't found it. When I got home, I googled it obviously to see if I could find what the official law was around it, but I could not find it. But the suggestion was that being single file takes up too much space, and it also creates that issue where you don't set off the sensor. So the better option is to have two abreast, so that you're taking up less space and you have more chance of setting off the sensor. So if anybody watching knows the magic answer from a legal New South Wales, Australia laws for P-plate riders and L plate riders, that would be great to know. Thank you. I had also been thinking that so far I have only ridden with you all to Terrigal Beach, and obviously we have a lot more beaches than that. So I should probably take you to some of the other beaches. So Avoca, North Avoca, maybe Wombrel, maybe up to McMaster's Beach. It's beautiful there in Copacabana. They are two beautiful areas that I really love. And of course, which I've mentioned lots of times before, I still haven't taken you up, Kincumber Mountain. So maybe that will be the next video. But I've said that before as well. I don't know why I don't quite make it there. I have been riding a lot lately, just, to the gym, to the Pilates class. I do a Pilates class a couple of times per week. That's only new in the past, I would say, month, and the gym is only new in the past month. I had some health issues last year, so I was taking it easy, but this year, in preparation for hiking the big mountains in Nepal in October, I need to get fitter and I need to get stronger. So the gym, the treadmill, the stair machine and Pilates are all part of my routine this year. It's going to be a busy year. Oh, beautiful bushland. You must be getting sick of seeing bushland. It seems like that's the only scenery. I don't really ride in really big cities, because the biggest city for me is down in Sydney, and I would not take Rosie on the freeway to Sydney. She doesn't quite go fast enough to keep up or to get me out of trouble. Although others do. Oh, I read a really interesting story on Facebook just this week about a man who rode a 50cc scooter all the way from Bateman's Bay, which is down the south coast, all the way, south coast of New South Wales, all the way across to Perth in Western Australia and back again. And that is a long way. I don't know if you've ever seen the map of Australia about how far across that is, but it's a long way. It's around a 4-hour flight when you fly there. Well, I've flown there for work a few times. It's a long flight, and I don't know how long it took that person to ride there and back, but surely on a 50cc it would have to be a good week or so to get there. And I'm not sure, because I only saw the headline of it. I didn't see all the detail whether they followed the coast or went through the centre of Australia. Common sense would say that they followed the coast and went through Adelaide that way, because going through the centre would have meant a bit of desert, long stretches without any petrol stops, and the scooter tanks aren't that big, so unless obviously you took a bag with extra fuel in it, that might have worked. But how amazing to think that you could ride a 50cc scooter all the way to Perth, Western Australia and back. Amazing. People are amazing. My butt would hurt so much if I tried to do that. I need a lot of stops, so it would probably take me a month to get there. As usual, I've talked a lot in this video. I don't have that many people that follow the channel or that watch the videos. Maybe 50 people watched the last video, which is nice, which is great. And I don't know whether people prefer me to be quiet and just watch the scenery go by, or whether they're happy to listen to me ramble on. I'll keep rambling on until somebody tells me differently, though. I can't remember what time of the day it is now riding home, but you can see that it's still not hugely busy on the road. We're getting close to my home now, just around the corner. But yeah, so it was a great impromptu morning, and it was hot when I got home, but not as hot as it was going to get during the day that day. So it was a good idea to head off early and beat the heat, have a nice breakfast, have a good chat and a good laugh about things, which is always nice, and just hear what people have been up to. So I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you watching as well, and commenting for those of you that do. It's nice to hear from you, to know that you're watching. Here we are, almost back home again, past the private hospital and back into our little gated community where we live. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.